There are vigils that go on all over Rhode Island. There are several weekly vigils that are happening. There's a vigil in Westerly, there's a vigil in Little Compton, there's a vigil in Block Island, there's a vigil in Bristol on the second Saturday, there's a vigil every Saturday in downtown Providence on South Main Street. There are so many opportunities for you to carry on your peacemaking day by day, not just on the anniversaries of wars. This is something that we need to make be an everyday thing. And to begin to see each other, it's very easy to look around this room and see the brother and sister in each other. The harder thing is to see the brother and sister in Condoleezza Rice and George Bush. This is harder to do, but it's a necessary thing for us to do, because there's an awful lot of effort out there trying to divide people one from another and to feed the hate beast. And I am very much a believer that if you are engaging in hatred, no matter how justified you think your hatred is, you are feeding the beast.
I'm Christopher Young. I'm a United States Senate candidate for the state of Rhode Island. I oppose this war. I oppose this illegal occupation. And I oppose the death of 1.2 million Iraqis who died in this war. I oppose Jack Reed, who has voted in favor of this war. Every year it's happened. He's voted for funding this war. He's voted for increased troop deployment. And this is what causes this war to continue on. I oppose further proliferation with Iran. And my website is wheretovote.com. It's wheretovote.com. We received 26% of the vote in the last election with no media coverage other than underground media. And we're attempting to try to change things in the state of Rhode Island. If you could tell others to take action and support our website.
Right now, we're going to have Kelly Nichols from the Providence SBS speak for a few minutes.
Where were you on March 19th, 2003? Were you on the streets, marching like we are today? Hoping that the overwhelming worldwide opinion could overpower the misguided minority of politicians who chose to believe lies propagated by imperialist opportunists? Or were you more pessimistic, foreseeing the necessity of our dissenting presence today and our continued such presence into the future? As an idealistic 15-year-old joining almost 500,000 demonstrators in my first large-scale action in New York City, I was enchanted by the energy and passion of people in protest. But stopping traffic could not stop an empire. 5 years, billions of dollars, and hundreds of thousands of human lives later, I participated in dozens of marches, written countless letters to senators, and educated many through Truth in Recruiting. I've grown more cynical and more radical over the past 5 years, realizing it will take a deeper structural change, and luckily, we are not alone in this endeavor. No, we're not! Well, Students for a Democratic Society is in no way a new organization. It is also not simply a throwback to the past. Instead, a reinvention for the future. The power of youth lies in its ability to provide a fresh, new perspective to age-old challenges. This, I believe, we are accomplishing through anti-war dance parties and creative street theater, innovative collaboration, and commitment to direct action.
They're the closet patriots. Philosophically, they're against the war, and deep down in their heart, they know we got into this war on a pack of lies. They know the war was poorly managed, it's come at a great price in personal and financial capital. It's destroyed our reputation and standing in the world. They know our government has tortured terrorists, transported them illegally, it's ruined our relationships with other countries, it's destroyed our relationship with the Muslim world, and our economy's on the skids. We weren't able to pay for the war with the oil revenues that we got from the Iraqis. But we spend $3 billion a week on this war, so we don't have the money to handle any of the upcoming problems.
Fighting the terrorists overseas so that we don't have to fight them at home. And what does that mean? That means we're killing Iraqis so that Americans don't get killed here. It means we're shooting Apache helicopter high explosive rounds into the front yard of some woman's house so that somebody over here perhaps won't get killed. And I think this is related, for instance, to the fact that we know how many Americans have died, and we have no idea how many Iraqis have died. And so this justification for war, fighting the terrorists overseas so we don't have to fight them at home, what to me that is really saying is that Iraqis are not human. They're not as human as we are. They aren't as important as we are. And I think that's a terribly offensive position to take. I think it's one we shouldn't accept.
Young Americans shouldn't have to die. Don't they know that blood is paid with the oil they buy? They fill their cars with gas and homes with heat. Their SUVs crowd every street. Their pretty packaged lives so clean, so neat, not knowing they contribute to all our defeat, watching the entertainment of battle from their comfortable living room seat. A bag of popcorn, reality TV, nice nightly treat. These political predators devour their impoverished prey, hungry to cure their own disease by prescribing more unease. Humanity in vanity, forever attempting to stop war by launching just one more.
They would have you believe that when they drop a bomb on an entire city block in Philadelphia or Baghdad, it is for your protection. Who should you really be afraid of? Who lives in a state of extreme fear? Do not believe the textbooks. In school, they taught me to speak just enough to prove that I could speak it all, but not enough to make them fear my attitude. In school, they taught me that the center of intelligence is an agency that would kill us in our beds for any or no reason at all. We were raised knowing that they have a million ways to undercut our uprising, all these years of losing everything in a war undeclared. But the rules of engagement have changed. It used to be the unspoken fear of nigger lying underneath any given conversation, but the language now is terrorist, and the operation is not covert. 4 days after my senior prom, my date was taken from his home in the middle of the night for having been named after the Prophet Muhammad. I'm afraid to wear a head wrap when I drive. People choke on my name, and I was almost arrested for the second time when I refused to let them strip search me at an airport. The first time I was defending a young brother, not older than 13, against the violence of a cop. There has never been a time when our people were not at war. They were waiting for excuses to uncover the violence, to justify it openly. They used skin color as a fear tactic and religion as a foil, but Operation Iraqi Liberation has the acronym OIL, oil. We saw what they did to our people. We know terror, and we know they are afraid. We chose sides hundreds of years ago when they used our blood to stain stripes on the flag. This was always a war against terror, a war for our survival, a fight to keep our names and our families. They shoot us in our beds and they plant lies and bombs in our children's heads, especially as a means of coercion. But we know the truth, and we've spoken divinity's name. Our knowing and speaking will put them to shame. Our knowing and speaking a survival of blame.
We did predict 5 years ago when we marched on February the 15th, 2003, millions and millions of people all around the world in 670 major cities in the largest coordinated demonstration ever organized by humankind. We all turned down on that day to say no to war. So when people say nobody could have predicted the mess that this war would become, I'd have to say we did. We did. We knew. So if we knew, why didn't Congress? And that's what we have to do now. We have to put the beast on a totally different diet. It's allergic to hate. And so maybe we can change the world, not just stop this war, but change the whole world when we start to see each other as family.